Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Peter Ssekajja, Senior Technical Officer at Uganda Kina Production Center. Chemical leasing, a smart business for green industries. Traditionally, suppliers sell large quantities of chemicals to the end users, and they have no business interest in reducing this, because if they reduce this, their revenues reduce. So, by doing this business model, buyers are paying for inefficient use of chemicals because they want to buy chemicals to attain their requirements. Chemical leasing provides this sustainable solution by paying for the services rendered by the chemicals. So under chemical leasing, the user pays for the services rendered by the chemicals, not the volumes of chemicals purchased. So chemical leasing presents a paradigm shift in these chemical businesses from traditional business models which are based on contradictory motives. How? In the traditional business model, the supplier wants to sell more because that's how he raises revenues. But for the consumer wants to use less because by using less, he's going to meet the production costs which are low and it benefits in the production process. Under chemical leasing, the supplier is no longer the seller of goods, but the provider of the services provided by the chemicals. So in this case, under the chemical leasing business model, the supplier earns more by using less, which is also the same case for the consumer. So how do stakeholders realize added benefit? Let us take an example. A user wants to clean 2 million tubes. And to clean 2 million tubes, he requires 100 tons of the solvent. If 1 ton costs $100,000, it means that the user will pay $100,000 to achieve this service. So what are the benefits to the producer? Producing 100 tons of solvents requires both variable and fixed costs. If the fixed costs are $10,000 and the variable costs are $80,000, the net profit through this transaction is only $10,000 for the producer, and the chemical user only gets the benefit of the chemical. Under the chemical leasing business model, all processes are optimized at both the chemical user and the chemical supplier's facilities. So it means that after process optimization, the chemical user will require less chemicals to do the same job. So, assuming the chemical supplier works with the chemical user and they agree that each pipe being cleaned is going to be paid for by 4 cents, it means that the chemical user now pays the 4 cents times the 2 million tubes, which comes to 80,000. So by this business model, the user makes a profit of 100,000 minus 80, which is 20,000. And for the user, instead of using 100, and for the producer, instead of using 100 tons for this process, after process optimization, he will use 60 tons. If the fixed costs are the same, production of 60 tons, it will require less variable cost, which is 60 tons times 8,000 divided by 100, which is 48,000. So meaning that the profit for this supplier becomes 80,000 minus 48 minus the 10, which is 22,000. Added revenue is 12,000 net profit compared to the traditional business model. What is it different from the normal cleaner production? Under cleaner production, NCPC's experts work with the enterprises to improve efficiencies in raw material, water, and energy. In chemical leasing business model, a producer of the chemical is also brought into this synergy. So in this case, there is more of the benefits compared to the normal case as usual. In Uganda, with support from the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, Uganda Cleaner Production Center worked with one of the company there, Crown Beverages Limited, which is a soft drink company and a franchise of Pepsi Cola International, to implement such a business model. And in December 2013, 3 chemical leasing contracts had been signed in this company. The one was on conveyor lubrication, another one was on bottle washing, and another one for the final rinse. And this was only for the returnable glass bottle line, just for a test, for a trial run. Before this concept, the basis of payment was Uganda shillings per ton of chemicals produced for these processes, for all the 3 processes. During the conveyor lubrication, before the concept, this company was using a soap-based chain lubricant which was foaming, and in fact it was causing this chaos in the effluent treatment plant. And at times, this effluent treatment plant used to overflow. So the company had started hiring an expert to see how they could increase the size of this effluent treatment plant. And by that, this agitator was running 24 hours a day just to ensure that the process is very well. And in that case, it was consuming 54 megawatt hour per month in terms of electricity. There was also high water consumption in bottle washing and conveyor lubrication. Under the chemical leasing business model, the chemical producer nominated staff at his plant to come at the plant of this company, Crown Beverages Limited, and work with their staff to harmonize and see areas of improvement in all these processes. And after that, they identified that in the bottle washer of this company, there was a leakage which had not yet been identified by this company, and this was eliminated. So the water consumption reduced greatly. Also, the conveyor lubrication, which was completely wet, was turned into semi-dry by using nozzles which are timely. So in that case, the water only flows when the line is running. So there was also water, there was reduction in water consumption dosage by 44% on the conveyors. The soap-based lubricant was replaced with another chemical which works better. In fact, it neutralizes, and you find that there is no foam formed. And this volume of effluent, the effluent treatment plant, reduced by half after this concept. So in terms of energy savings, the company was able to, the agitator would only run for 15 hours compared to 24 hours a day. That makes a monthly saving of this kilowatt hour through that process. And also, after chemical leasing, they agreed on unit of payment per liter of beverage packaged in returnable glass bottles. So by that, through that unit of payment, there was a direct saving of $257,000 in 2015. Having presented such achievements to the Global Chemical Leasing Award in 2014, the company won bronze. With such a motivation, the company went on to renew these chemical leasing contracts on all these bottle lines, and it was able to continuously achieve an added benefit of $522,000, making it to the total of $780,000. This concept was also upscaled to the dry conveyor lubrication, the PET line. Before this process, the company was paying a fixed cost of $4,600 per month for conveyor lubrication. So this would mean that even if the company works or it doesn't work, they have to pay this fixed amount. But after the chemical leasing, the unit of payment now turned to US dollars per liter of beverage packaged in PET line. And in this case, the company achieved a direct economic saving of $44,000 on this line only. And having presented these cases, the company won gold in the Global Chemical Leasing Award 2018. Henry Ford says, "Coming together is a beginning, Staying together is a process, and working together is a success. Thank you so much.